Hello, and welcome to the First Issue Club podcast. Hey guys, welcome back.
Hi.
Hi.
Who do we have in the club today?
I'm Mike D.
Oh, welcome, Mike D.
I'm Greg.
Hey, Greg.
I'm Caitlin.
Hey, Caitlin.
Hey.
You guys just stepped into the First Issue Club podcast, where we cover first issues exclusively, and we help lead you through the muddy and sometimes murky world that is the comic book landscapes. Number one comics, each week we read them here, and we're happy to do so. This week on the podcast, what are we covering, Greg?
Today we are covering Kidz, number 1, and Guardians of the Galaxy, number 1.
That is correct. Thank you for saying the two right comics that we were
What
covering.
if it was wrong?
I was caught off guard, but I got them right.
Kidz is on Ablaze, and Guardians is on...
I think it's Marvel?
That is correct also. You're 2 for 2.
2 for 2. I am killing it.
Cool, guys. Well, I got some news.
Oh,
Oh.
3 news pieces, actually.
3
for
news pieces.
Yes. The first one is, did you hear about a little football team named the Chiefs?
Oh, here we go. Can we spend as little as time on this as we can?
Yeah, we can. I think we did. We exhausted
How
this
about
topic.
some regional sports news, everybody?
We're from
I mean,
Kansas
it's
City.
not regional anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Our football team, the Kansas City Chiefs, is going to the Super Bowl. We're pretty happy about it.
Okay, next. Seth Rogen.
Yes.
Do you guys know about this?
No.
Mhm. I put it on the Twitter.
You did put it on the Twitter, yes. So if you're on the Twitter, you already know about it as well, our Twitter. Which, rate, review, follow us as we're here mentioning this. Seth Rogen is going to produce a Rick Remender comic book called Fear Agent, made in 2005. That was originally released on Image and then went to Dark Horse. One of the producers that's making the new Batman is on it. And one of the Jumanji guys is on it as well.
We got one of the Jumanji guys?
Yeah. And I think this is going to Amazon?
Yes.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Seth Rogen also produced The Boys.
And Future Man.
Yes, and Future Man, which are both awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
so
yes.
I have complete faith in Fear Agent. I loved Free Agent as a comic book. Or Fear Agent, sorry. I said Free Agent.
I like Free
got
Agent.
football in the mind. Sorry, folks. Fear Agent was very, very good. So I'm very excited.
Did you read it all the way through?
Yes.
We got any Seth Rogen fans in the house?
Yeah.
I can handle them in small spurts.
So, yeah, that movie's coming. And then another third piece of news, Patton Oswalt. Tell me about that.
And Ben Schwartz.
And Ben Schwartz and a lot of people from Brooklyn Nine-Nine are going to be in this animated TV show about MODOK,
And Patton is going to be playing MODOK.
which is perfect casting.
I think there's never been a better casting.
Not since Hugh Jackman was casted as Wolverine.
That's a good point. You guys, Patton,
Yeah, too tall.
Patton Oswalt fans.
Sorry,
that's good.
sorry, Hugh.
That's a good.
The
You
only
ruined my-
blemish on his record.
You ruined my childhood.
Too tall.
6 inches too tall, which I hardly ever say.
Do you think Patton Oswalt's too tall for MODOK?
No, I
No.
think he's the right
Yeah.
amount of size.
Yeah.
He's the perfect size.
He killed it in that Mouse movie, so he's got a little. He's got.
Ratatouille.
Yeah, he's got animation up his sleeve.
I got a chuckle out of that. Thank you.
Ratatouille. That was French, though, right? That's
Ratatouille.
the French pronunciation.
Yes.
Ratatouille. You guys got any other news?
I do. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Scout Comics is suing Vault Comics
Thank God.
because they both put out a book called The Mall.
That is true,
Oh,
and we
my
talked about
goodness.
this.
Yeah, we did.
We predicted this.
I don't know if we predicted the lawsuit, but we both were just like, hey, wait a minute. These two publishers both have books called The Mall out.
The Mall. Who's gonna win that one?
Whoever published
Yeah, whoever
Mall
published first.
I believe it was Scout.
Yeah.
No,
Which is the one we read was Scout.
Yeah, so the Scout Mall
The one that got optioned.
was like Richie Rich. You inherited a mall.
Yeah.
yeah.
The other mall was like a zombie story where they're trapped in a mall.
What's the other publisher that has the Mall?
Vault.
Vault should win this one because that's the better comic. By a hair.
I don't know that we need more zombies, people being trapped in a mall sort of stuff.
Yeah, we do.
Wasn't there a whole movie about that already?
Yeah,
been a couple of
one
movies
of the
about
remakes
that.
of The Day of the Dead was that.
Retire it
No.
as a concept.
It's cool. Zombies are cool. Malls are cool. Put them together. Buns are cool.
Over and over and
Hot,
over
hot
and
dogs are
over.
cool.
I guess I just keep eating those too.
Yeah.
All right.
They keep making hot dogs. You sick of those?
Twizzlers are good. Clam chowder's
I'm
good.
waving the white flag.
We have a first surrender
Yep.
of 2020.
Yes, the first surrender. Any
Always
other
the
news?
sweetest.
This is good. This is like jam-packed news. Sometimes we're like little news, like crickets. This news is fucking crazy.
Captain Marvel 2 lost its original director for the second movie.
Okay.
So I don't know if anyone cares about that, but I think
Who was their first director?
it wasn't Patty Jenkins. She's doing Wonder Woman. It was another female director, but I think they're out, and the person who's writing WandaVision into the multiverse or whatever is writing the screenplay for this movie. So it's set in present day. There's some small little driblets of news coming in from about that.
For WandaVision or Marvel?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did the director leave? Do we know?
Unknown.
All right.
Unknown. The director for the second Doctor Strange is out over creative differences.
Huh.
So, I have a question about for you guys. So the Super Bowl is coming up.
Yes.
I know, but this is not sports related.
We've covered this.
Which comic book trailer do you think are they gonna show off?
Oh.
Like a new
one.
Zelda.
What?
I think-
for the video
I
game?
think we'll get a Zelda video game movie.
Oh, no. There's no way. We would have heard about this.
Yeah?
Okay. Well, so Budget Kings is Zelda. I think we'll get our first footage of the Eternals.
Oh,
Really?
that's probably
Whoa,
true, actually.
okay.
Yeah, because that's been buzzing hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it comes out in like June. So I think right
Oh,
now would
then
be
they
a
kind of
good teaser opportunity
have
for.
to.
They could
Yeah.
do New Mutants too, right?
Yeah, they just dropped a New Mutants trailer.
Yeah,
Would it be
they
too
did.
soon to do another one?
A new
People are speculating that Mr. Sinister is going to be in the New Mutants movie,
Oh.
which would be pretty fucking sick.
That's another like rush it too soon thing.
You think so?
Yeah, dip your toe into Mr. Sinister. I think this week on the Patreon, Greg and I are going to be looking at the top 300 comics sold in 2019.
That's going to be 8 hours long.
We're not going to go through all of them, but there's some interesting stuff on like market share and who sold the most of what.
Really?
And, what actually ended up being the top 10 selling comics of 2019 was pretty surprising to me.
Oh man,
boy.
I'm so pumped for that.
If you like data and nerds screaming about data, you're going to want to subscribe to the Patreon. Toot sweet!
I got back from vacation and saw a rocket ship,
You saw a rocket ship?
SpaceX launch.
Oh.
Oh, is that why you went to Florida?
Oh, yeah. You're
That's
pretty close
not-
to Cape Canaveral.
Yes, I was there basically. That's not why I went. It was a little bit of a side benefit.
How close were you?
I could see it. It looked like a big star.
Was it just the craziest thing to watch?
It was momentous, historic.
Was it at night or during the day?
Morning, 10 a.m.
So that's mid-morning, yeah.
Full sunlight.
Full sunlight, yeah. And they were like testing this thing of like if something failed, so it exploded.
Oh, dang.
But on purpose. There wasn't anybody in it either. Except for
Well,
Except for a couple dogs.
Elon.
oh.
Elon.
Maybe some sentient robots.
Yes.
Father, why, Father?
You guys see? Did you guys see?
Father Elon.
Did you guys see history in the last 7
Father
days?
Alon, no! We killed Grimes for you, Father Alon! We impregnated Grimes for you, Father.
Why would a robot speak that unofficially?
Because they're
impregnated.
Because they're stupid. They don't know. That's why they're in the ship to die.
They've been tricked. They're idiots. Come on, keep up.
They're like the Laurel and Hardy of robots.
All right. Sorry.
To the moon.
That escalated quickly.
Why did you give us feelings, Alon?
I am burning Alon.
Just to kill us, Father Alon. I love that they say his name every sentence.
And they say it wrong.
We trust in you, Alon, but why? Sounds like the SNL guy.
Did you know that?
Musical guest.
Father
Elon Musk.
Did you know he can never be alone?
No, because he's a lawn. Hey, I'll be here all night.
Oh my god.
There
Don't
we go.
leave me alone.
Okay, so why can he be alone?
Somebody told me that the other day that he has a thing.
Don't
that-
leave me by my Elon's.
Somebody, I was walking down the street, they tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you know Alon?
Do you know Father Elon?
Do you know Father Alon?"
Wait, was this person? Does this person have like
holding
loose
tracks?
wires coming out of their neck and kind of robotic
Did
in
they
their
actually-
movement?
Singed metal.
Do you know Alon?
Do you know my father, Elon?
Join
He
the
can-
Church of SpaceX.
He can never be alone.
Patrick Stewart.
So yeah,
Oh,
that's
boy.
a truth
Oh,
statement
boy.
about him.
Okay.
We talk about Alon a lot on this podcast.
We just want him on the show.
yeah, we should be a STEM research podcast instead. Talk about like innovation and shit.
Nope. Next.
I tried.
Vetoed. Club vote.
Yep. Then
And like a rocket ship, let's
get this podcast.
start it. First up, we have Kidz. Yep, that's with a Z. By Ablaze Comics by Aurelian Ducadardre and Jocelyn Jouret.
If you couldn't tell from that pronunciation, that was a Z on Kids.
Kidz. Caitlin, what is Kidz about?
Okay, so think about the Lost Boys if Neverland was Earth following a zombie apocalypse. And that's kind of what this is about.
That is the nail on the head.
Yep.
We've got Brooks, and he's the leader, but he's leading a gang of kids who are basically filming themselves while just going around clearing out homes in and around their own neighborhood.
Yeah, they're making like jackass videos of them killing zombies
Yeah.
for their own entertainment because there is no internet.
Yeah, because at first he's like saying it's like a show, but then they're not uploading it anywhere. They're just watching it for themselves.
That makes it
Like
even,
their own highlight
even
reels.
so much better. Yeah, so this comic book, it unfolds where it's like kids are like going after something and you kind of think they're like going to go bully somebody or like
Right.
attack somebody. Then you find out as they all jump over a fence, there's a zombie and they're racing to just like kill it. But it's their neighbor that like made them cookies. So it's like this really like fascinating way to like tell you the story really quickly, that it's like town run by kids with zombies that can like kill the zombies and take control of their own life, which to me is a great fucking premise.
Yeah.
I really loved how straightforward this whole story was. I mean, we've seen zombie stories a million times over. This one didn't try to do anything new or flashy or crazy. It felt like Lord of the Flies meets Walking Dead, and I'm fine with that. I think the artwork really helped me appreciate this comic way more, though.
The artwork was very like style in a way that I've never seen before that I loved. Go ahead.
So, we say that we've seen a million zombie things before, and this one was a good one at that. But every zombie thing needs a twist to kind of stand out from.
It's
The
the
field.
zombie thing, but with this.
Yeah, this one, I think, is that just parents turn into zombies
They're
or just
basically-
adults.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's been made clear though. If they're just the remaining survivors, or if
You think there'd be more kids?
only adults turn into zombies.
Do all women turn into zombies too? Because they're all boys, right?
In the next issue, they find girls.
Oh, okay. Because that was one.
All right.
That was gonna be one of my spanks, my bads
Yeah.
on this. Was that like, why do you only have boys? Okay.
Yeah. And it was kind of a cute little line and where it was like, in the next issue, they're going to come across some girls, and that may be their primary threat.
Oh, boys and girls can never get along.
I wonder if it is a zombie virus that just attacked some kind of thing that only existed in the adults. Basically home aloneing everyone.
Depression.
No, that's spreading to kids now, too.
Taxes.
Texas.
If you're head of household, you are now a zombie.
Did this make you think, what would you have done? in
Kind
the
of.
situation as a kid.
Yeah.
Have you never thought about that when you were a kid? Like, man, what if the parents were gone and it was just me and my buddies?
There was a reality show that was like Kid Town USA. Do you
Oh
remember that?
my God.
Yeah.
They had to cancel it
they-
because they drank bleach.
Yeah, that was a terrible idea.
Did you not know
Drink
that?
bleach?
Yes.
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 What?
I was just about to beat him to the punchline.
The
yeah.
kids were unattended
Yep.
and just filmed, and the
No,
kids got
no.
into something,
That's
and one
not
of them
the one
drank
I'm
bleach.
talking
Yes,
about.
it is. It's the same one you're talking about.
They
didn't-
weren't unattended in that show.
We talking about Brat Camp?
No, you're talking about camp something. They didn't show the episode of them drinking the bleach.
Sure.
I think they finished. They cut the. They canceled the season.
The kids weren't completely unattended,
Right.
But they were like in charge. They like
Yes.
elected themselves, and
Yes.
like there was like.
So
and
it
they-
is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a caveat.
I'm
if
the
they
male.
weren't-
Drink that bleach.
They weren't completely unattended at all times.
Yes, there's like
Because they had to have things where like they would be explained something, or there was an adult present for some of the filming.
Kid
Kid-
Nation.
Kid Nation,
This
yes.
was like the starring
Kid
nerd.
Nation.
They were like, they tried to find archetypes of kids too.
Yes.
To be like, he's the nerdy but smart one.
Yeah.
And here's
Ugly
like
one.
Here's the natural leader. He's got the
emotionally
charisma.
challenged, like strong kid.
Yeah.
Kid
They
looks
did
like-
actually come up with some things though that you were like, you could see like a mini society, the way that it would operate.
I've heard it's very rewatchable.
It is.
Kid Nation.
I would want to watch it again.
I don't know if you could pay me to rewatch Kid Nation.
You
like an
watched
old-
it all?
I don't. I think I maybe
That's a
watched
no.
one commercial.
That's a no.
I did watch all of Brat Camp, and now that's a show that should
What
have had
is
multiple
Brat
seasons.
Camp?
So Brat Camp was this show where it was like a reality show, and you brought in troubled youths to this like camp in Colorado that was like they want to fix you by
Oh.
putting you in the wilderness
Yep.
and teaching you resilience
I
and
saw
how
a
to
couple
like.
of those.
That was a good show. I
like-
thought that was a good show.
I like Scared Straight.
That's kind of what, yeah. Scared straight by nature.
Okay,
You know what scares you straight quicker than a trip to the prison? A bear.
that's a good point.
A bear chasing you down.
Or
Yeah,
zombie.
the bear's not trying to threaten you, and you can't just laugh in the bear's face. It will straight up kill you.
But let's get back to this comic, Kids.
Yeah, so, sorry. It just reminded me of that. Like, Kid Nation, like,
Yeah.
what would you do? What kind of society would you form?
This comic book is a really good soda pop. Like you're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be like a little bit surprising, and it's like it captivated me and it made me want to see like, well, where does this go?
Yeah. I definitely want to read issue 2.
Yeah. And kudos to Ablaze. This is our first Ablaze comic that we covered. You may know them for such comics as Vampire State Building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if this is what they do, I think there's something European about them.
Yeah, you were saying that this was like European comics, but
And they distribute
repackaged
them
for
in the
America.
U.S. So I don't know if that's what Ablaze does. Is they're just like Ablaze got at us on Twitter. So maybe if they listen to this, they can tell us.
Yeah.
Like what? How
We'll have somebody on from Ablaze to.
Yeah, how exactly they do it. But yeah, I always love new publishers, new indie publishers, and this as a zombie comic is interesting. They had like
Stood out.
they had like 6 covers.
Yeah.
And our stores didn't grab them.
I liked the Ghostbusters looking
Yeah.
one.
Me too.
That
The
one was
Goonies
cool.
one was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a solid entry from Ablaze. Nothing that will like really wow people or, be a skyrocket to fame, but like you need to build a solid base to have a good publishing house. And
They're
doing that.
I think I could stick this comic book in anybody's hands and they would not be upset about it.
no.
Yeah.
If you would take the curse words out, you could give it to kids.
They did Unsacred, which
Mm-hmm.
is the comic book from Unnatural, which she's a French writer.
Merca and Dolfo or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Good job. And
Thank you.
Hey, good for you. Gold star for Mike D.
well, knowing it, I don't know. I wouldn't have known
Yeah,
it.
it's impressive.
So, yeah, Ablaze is a formidable foe in the publishing world. And,
Really heating up Ablaze.
Yeah. They also have this really rad comic book called Gung Ho, which gets previewed
You were
in the
so
back.
you were so proud of your really heating up.
Really heating
for
up
Ablaze.
Ablaze!
Yeah, thank you.
And that was Kidz.
On Ablaze.
All right. And next up, we have the return of Guardians of the Galaxy #1 on Marvel by Al Ewing and Juan Cabal. Caitlin, what is Guardians of the Galaxy about as
Well-
it comes back to Marvel? Not the first time we've covered a Guardians book.
But
No.
bye.
Won't be the last.
It seems like we actually covered the Donny Cates one.
We did.
That
Yeah.
this is spinning out from.
Well, this book has a subtitle that I think is pretty apt, and it just says "Then It's Us," and it's just kind of about the skeleton crew of the Guardians and Nova just really needing help, but everyone else is pretty much lost or just too badly beaten and in recovery or just not in it for the fight anymore. And this issue was kind of fun in that it wasn't super fun to watch what was happening or to feel like the plight that they're in because they're fighting some pretty big bads. They're fighting like all the gods of Mount Olympus. And they're just basically, the straits are very dire. The stakes are very high, but it's weird because they're not winning. The good guys are not winning. And most of the good guys are unaware that this is even a thing, that the stakes are as high as they are. It was a really weird take on the start of a story, and I really don't know where they can take it from here. So it was really intriguing to me to be like, it doesn't look good. And this is the very first issue of this story.
And half of the Guardians of the Galaxy essentially just wants to retire.
Right.
They're tired.
It doesn't want to do crime fighting, space policing anymore.
Which that was refreshing to me to start a series with that.
Yeah.
Like, we are done now.
I really connected with this book when Nova was just like, I'm tired. I'm broken down.
Oh,
It just
no.
seems like
Greg.
there's crisis after crisis. And I feel like that's kind of what Marvel's been doing. It's been event after event. And like people are getting fatigued. Like,
I really
can they just have a
actually-
normal fucking day for
They're like-
once?
He's like, I just got out of the Annihilation miniseries.
Yeah.
He said, he's like, I died. Like, he's like, and the whole thing visually, too, he ends up with his knees in his chest, just sitting on the ground, like,
Fetal.
just breaking down in
and I
front
think
of all
he
these
wanted
people.
to die. He
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The
He
villain,
was like, let it end, please.
the villain that he was fighting was like, no, the actual fuck you is that I'm gonna bring you back.
yeah. It's bleak. It's bleak as shit.
So it is. Al Ewing like recently just got a ton of I guess kudos for revitalizing the Hulk.
Yes.
And making it into like something that it never was before, which was just this like epic kind of cosmic horror like thing that was just beautiful. And I think that this could happen here. Like he could do. It almost seems like he's doing like a meta superhero thing, but like with space. And then he's sewed in this conspiracy theory with the Kree and Skrulls that like is gonna go somewhere. I think there's a lot of.
have you guys seen how many books he's writing this year? Al Ewing? He's writing like 6 or 7 books.
A bunch. So we had a Jason Aaron year and then a Donny Cates year, and this is an Al Ewing year.
Yeah.
And we geared up for it specifically. This is really nerdy Marvel stuff with those couple Avengers runs that he did, one of which introduced Immortal Hulk, and then the second of which, No Surrender, or No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home and No Surrender were the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one introduced the Greek gods back.
Wasn't Al Ewing a big proponent of the Marvel 1000 issue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the like the bandit guy or whatever.
Yeah, so he has some big plans coming out for the next year and a half, I think, and it's going to be interesting. He's an incredible writer.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it with Immortal Hulk and in any other series he's been writing. So I'm
He's
excited.
insane. Yeah. And so are we led to believe that the new Guardians is going to be without Groot and Gamora?
I think initially, yeah,
Okay. So
because
and then it'll add in Nova and Hercules.
They didn't have Drax either.
Yeah, Drax stays on the planet as well. So like, yeah, so we kind of get a new Guardians in some ways. Or are we just following Rocket and Star-Lord?
They seem to make a point that, like, it all started with us, Star-Lord and Rocket together. And it does seem to me like there's a lot of things suggesting that it's going to be an adventure with just those two for a bit.
Which, by the way, that was one of the fucking coolest things about this comic book is they had an actual panel
Yeah.
from the first Guardians of the Galaxy book that shows the first time Rocket and Star-Lord met, and they like put that inside like the comic book as a way to show their origin. I've never seen that done before.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was really cool. Yeah.
One thing that I loved about this, which it seems like a lot of good signature runs that stick with me have, like, this specific Iron Man costume or this specific Spider-Man outfit that really sticks out to you. And Rocket in his fancy little like
Miami Vice
suit is like totally this series that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, they mentioned it earlier that like Rocket in the Donny Cates Guardians of the Galaxy was like missing.
Yeah.
And was dying.
Yeah.
His body was just deteriorating. And I guess he had to go through all these surgeries to put new guts inside of him, and he's this new man, and he's a happier Rocket and doesn't mind when people call him Raccoon.
I think you need to read Donny Cates' book to kind of fully grasp a little bit of like what's going on and how we got here, especially with like Moondrake and the other lady.
Phyla?
Yeah, I can never say her name.
She was the Captain Marvel from the other universe or whatever. Yeah.
And like it kind of gets you like to where we are. I mean, I guess not everybody here read that full series,
I
right?
did not.
Did you feel lost at all, or was it?
Nope.
It was fine. Okay,
But
yeah.
I think that's aside from if you're, because I'm reading a lot of firsts, so I can suspend.
Yeah.
Pretty much a lot, and just take it with a grain of salt that I may not know what's led up to coming here.
Oh, we're missing the obvious thing here. Speaking of first reads, there's a first appearance in this book. Am I right?
A Marvel Boy?
Or does Marvel Boy exist?
I don't know if Marvel Boy exists or not.
Novar?
Well, there is a character named Marvel Boy who is not this character.
Okay.
'Cause
So
he
it's
says-
a different Marvel Boy.
He says, like, for all purposes, because Nova is here and my name's Novar, we're going to call me Marvel Boy.
Yeah.
But it was all done up, his font for
yes,
his name.
it was very much like DC introduces their characters with their logos every time they make like their first.
And he gave us his pronouns right off the bat.
Which
I
was
know.
kind of funny.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. But
Well,
also,
a lot of things were funny about this
also
character.
pointed enough to be like, we're really being sincere, but it's going to be funny the way
His-
it comes off.
His spit is psychedelic.
Yeah, the tongue with the rainbow on it.
Yeah. I'd make out with him.
His nails
His
like have
toenails.
little type of like explosives. on them.
Explosives, yeah.
And it's almost like he just like wrote like fake things, pulled it out of a hat, and is like, "That's Marvel Boy."
Mm-hmm.
He can create black holes because he controls his own physics.
Yeah.
which has like
You come with your own physics, right? Like he
He's
was
very-
a package.
very-
He almost seems like a contradiction. Like he shouldn't be able to exist
His-
with all the stuff that's happening
his
around
powers.
him.
You just have to remember because none of them correlate.
No, it's not like he's got an overall theme.
I think it'd be funny if his powers keep changing. He's just like, oh, I can also do this. Like in any situation where they need him.
But
Like, oh, fuck, the door's locked. Oh, my finger turns into a key, so we're fine.
My eyelashes have tensile strength like 10 times what they should.
I kind of thought they would redshirt him and just like kill him.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But it's like he delivers. He saves
Yeah.
Moondrake.
Yeah.
Oh, God. He
Um,
says, no gods, no masters, and blows off that dude's head.
Yeah, that was
so
insane.
sick.
So yeah, so I'm feeling him a little bit.
We'll see where it goes. Hercules is
I
in it.
like
That's
that
cool.
he was explaining all the things that he can do, and no one in the room was like, what?
Impressed, or they were all
Yeah.
just like, okay,
Sure.
Whatever. Can we get going?
he's a great C-3PO. That's basically the
Yeah,
role it seems
yeah.
like he's playing.
I also love it how it's like Star-Lord and Rocket don't have powers.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
They
And
can shoot.
and it's like people are just like, they never question that. They're just like, yeah, they're just badass space cowboys. They just come along for the ride.
They're
Some
like-
fucking gods. And
They
space
just need
cowboys.
warm bodies at
Yeah.
this point.
They reminded me very much so of the like washed up boxer archetype that's just like one more fight.
Mm-hmm.
That every time they tell their wife or their loved ones we're retiring and we're done and I've had enough concussions,
Yeah.
but you're like addicted to it. You can't let it go.
Yeah.
I don't like whiny Rocket, especially in the movies.
Uh-huh.
It just really bothers me. Like I just don't relate with that storyline. So I'm glad that was like tamped down a little
It's like
bit.
finally grown as a character.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
But he still needs you to keep your hands off his suit.
It's Versace, bitch. Don't touch it. It's cost more than your life.
There was a through line through the entire thing, and I can't quite remember exactly what it was, but it was something like everyone dies eventually, or they
Nowhere safe.
yeah, nowhere is safe. That's what it was. And it was interesting to see how that was used throughout.
Yeah.
There were some really cool beginning of comic parallels with like the end of comic. There was this like creepy star swirl that follows Zeus around.
Yeah.
And you see it in the Kidz soup at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
When he says nowhere is safe.
And
Just little touches
they-
like that I really appreciate as a reader.
they also say that the dimension that his city, that Zeus's city keeps coming from, is nowhere. So I don't know what
Yeah.
that means, but it was really interesting to just weave this in,
Yeah.
almost like you're giving us a code, clue by clue, and we're supposed to figure it out. But
Nowhere is safe.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't Rocket say in one point in the comic, he was just like, you know, we're all going to die one day. It's why I'm doing this now. I thought that was like a fun way to like kind of perceive life. It's just like, yeah, you're going to die. So just do this now. Like,
Yeah.
you got the time now. Do it.
I really liked that narrative of like the Guardians kind of figuring out retirement, but also like not doing one last ride, but also figuring out like how do I age out of this. It reminded me of like a bartender that like finally realizes like fuck you can't be a cool like cocktail bartender when you're 55. So like at some point I have to have an exit strategy here.
Yeah. I mean, I've met some pretty cool 55-year-old bartenders.
I'm sure, yeah. Maybe that's
You just got to go from dive bar to Margaritaville,
there you go.
and then you're good to go.
You got to go to Key West. Yeah.
Margaritaville has a 401k.
Yeah, you have to age with your
It's a job
patrons.
that's hard to age with, right? So you might know the exceptions, but I think that in general, like
Right.
being a bartender for life,
Yeah.
you at some point think to yourself, oh fuck, I wish I had a normal ass 9 to 5 and didn't have to worry about sloppy drunks tips to sustain my well-being.
to buy my kids shoes.
Yes. And I think that, yeah, that's
Just not having the constitution for it anymore, too, is I think another parallel.
Mm-hmm.
They may still have the drive or like the addiction, like you were talking about, but like physically, they're tired. I really liked this. It had the same kind of, the stylistic was the same kind of cosmic feel to me that maybe not art wise, but like design wise, as like Silver Surfer Black, like the colors and just the feel of like some of that retro, but yet a little trippy. So that appealed to me. And then I just think the story, it was bleak, it was different, and I mean, I don't know. It's that component where we talk about people, the superheroes having real problems, of like that exit strategy or just being out of the game, wanting to get out of the game.
I love Guardians. I think in general, like the movies and then just the storyline of like, because they're all like, it's never about them superheroing. It's like them Han Soloing. So it's like their grift in between like what they have to do to just be like, oh yeah, we actually have to do some good shit. And I like it's always a fun read. And so I think we started off last year early with like a really good Donny Cates Guardians.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to like add this to my pull and go on this ride.
It's almost like it's like Marvel's Serenity. You know, it's just like they're just looking for a job to just make some money. Doesn't matter where or how it comes about, but we're just looking for a job.
Right, because they don't really. If you like look at like the Avengers or like other just like superhero runs that are just like massively powerful, that's not what Guardians is about. Like Guardians is about these like band of misfits that like don't really get along. I also like that it's not Suicide Squad, even though they call themselves that. Like it's not just like these straight like villains who like have like a redemption status. Like they actually are like all kind of good people when you get down to it. They just have like they're just bad at communicating is really what it is.
Yeah, they just need a therapist.
Their motives aren't always like 100% pure,
Yeah.
which makes them different from Superman.
Yeah.
But it also makes them different.
One last endorsement for this book is that since Al Ewing is doing so many other Marvel books this year, I would say look for this to have some sort of key cog that spins out into other important things. And sometimes when those other series start to snowball, that's where you really start to feel lost in the muck of Marvel events and not knowing what's going on. So if you haven't really followed one closely, you probably want to get in the know early with a book like this.
It already listed a couple things in the back, like Nebula
Yeah.
and some of the other series that it's going to be tying into. I always get a little nervy when that happens.
Yeah. There's like too many things.
Oh no! More things to read. Oh no!
I'm going to be so lost.
Marvel Comics. You can't buy just one.
Truth.
And that was Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'll take it.
Thanks again for joining us on First Issue Club. Don't forget, we are going to C2E2 when it comes around. We're going to be doing all kinds of posts and stuff on every social media, so look out for that. Don't forget to sign up for our Patreon, where we have bonus episodes, interviews, videos, all kinds of fun stuff. Rate and review on iTunes, and see you next time.
Winter is lonely, especially after Christmas. So you know what you do? You jam your ass full of comic books and you come on down to the First Issue Club. Bring your sad ass down here, and we'll cheer you right up.
First Issue Club now accepting sad asses. Father along! Welcome everybody to the Chiefs Kingdom. We're the Chiefs and we came to have some fun. We're going to the Super Bowl in Miami, and don't mess with us cause we like to get handsy. We got Tyreek and Patrick and Kelsey and others. They play football and they do it better than the others. Every time I go to a football game I get beer poured on me, but that's okay because we're at Arrowhead, the home of the Chiefs, going to the Super Bowl to play some football. Everybody likes when the Chiefs win, including my dad, because he doesn't hit my mom. Everyone loves sports here. Sports is the fuel for my team. If my car was my sportsmanship, then the Chiefs are my fuel for the sportsmanship. And they're gonna win the Super Bowl, and everybody's gonna be happy that they win. I bleed red, literally, I bleed red. But I also love the Chiefs the whole lot. And if they win, boy, I will be happy. I may even read a Bible again.
I may even read a Bible again.
A Bible.